Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic, DeAndre Hopkins gets questioned on how many touchdowns him, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson will score together. Look, guys, I know some people are going to look at this and say it's a big bowl of nothing. But I like to look into the crevices of things where a lot of time diamonds reside. And I saw DeAndre Hopkins' face when asked the question. And there was a grin that came on his face like, whatever it takes to win the game. But there was an uncanny grin, almost a slight smile, that he showed when being asked that question. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audio and the video. I want you to watch closely to his mannerisms, okay? And then I'm going to break it down and answer this question, all right? So without further ado, let's go and see what Mr. dhop had to say about his production in Baltimore. Let's get started.
You about the picture that's gone viral this week. It was from back in 2020.
Man.
It's you, Lamar Jackson, and Derrick Henry.
Yep.
You took this picture at NFL Honors,
Yep.
and you posted it with the caption of how many touchdowns for this trio. What were you thinking at the time when you took that picture, and did you ever think that there was a possibility that you three guys would play on the same
We
team?
never thought it was
Man,
possible.
honestly, I did not think that was a possibility. I was like, Derrick Henry is obviously never leaving Tennessee. Lamar is never leaving Baltimore. So it's going to take me possibly going to either one of those places. And obviously, I went to Tennessee and Baltimore.
What's the number?
The number is enough to win the
Look at
amount
his
of
face.
games we need to win. Hopefully, it's more than a little bit.
You about
So, guys, and I know that some people are going to be like, he's a third receiver, he's not going to be able to contribute. Let me put a big fat nail or pin through that idea/IE balloon. Mark Andrews dictates everything moving forward. In his role on the team if he stays, or his absence thereof if he departs. Mark Andrews is the key to all of those conversations. Here's why. For one, when Lamar is going through a scramble drill, I'm going to break this all down for you guys. He usually looks towards his tight ends as total, confidently weapons in his tight ends. So there's a rapport with the middle of the field and Lamar and those tight ends. Okay? Okay. Now, if Mark Andrews leaves, which I think he leaves, I truly do, then if he leaves, his production gets thrown into the ether. You understand where I'm coming from? And what I mean by that is you can take all of his production and that production is going to have to be divvied up. And the burden is going to have to be picked up by another person or other people, plural. I specifically told everybody on here that Isaiah Likely, if Mark Andrews leaves, will be a 12 to 1,300 yard tight end. Honestly, I think he's capable of 1,600 yards because of his yak ability. That quick little buck, 10 yards. Some teams would spam something like that. Ravens won't. We might have a game or two with him spam it, but we're not going to spam it all season. We're not. It's not how we do things. That's where I'm coming from. So if we're not spamming that, that also means his touchdowns, as much as they might rise, will not go to the level that they need to go to be like, oh my God, he's breaking records. So now what you have is you're going to have Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Trust and believe this season, they're going to try to stop the run in Baltimore even more. They're going to have people jump in the gap, like blitzing to find which gap they might go to stop Derrick Henry or wrap him up, or, in the backfield. And because of that, there's going to be times that Derrick Henry's off the field. Do I think Derrick Henry gets 2,000 yards again? No. Do I think he rushes for 1,500 to 1,600 yards? Yes. And if Derrick Henry's running for 1,500 to 1,600 yards, right, I think the Ravens are going to play action more than they did last year. And I think Lamar is going to check in more to play action passes this upcoming year, which would mean if you're in 3 set 11 personnel, you got 3 wide receivers out there. That means Bateman, Isaiah, or Zay is going to get their targets, right? But then for the third, which is going to be DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to be going up against the lesser of the cornerback trios. So Lamar, knowing that he likes the middle of the field, is probably going to put Hopkins a lot of times in the slot, so he can take shots down the field through the middle where he's been probably at his greatest, while still having the threat of Zay Flowers and Bateman on the outsides. Guys, I'm going to be real with you. I think wholeheartedly, and I'm not making this up, Lamar Jackson, I don't think he's going to have 10 rushing touchdowns. I don't, because there's so many running backs on this team. But I do think Lamar gets around 6 rushing touchdowns this upcoming season. I think Derrick Henry gets somewhere between 14 and 17 touchdowns. We'll round it off to 15, right? So what you're looking at right there, you're looking at 22 touchdowns. And I think DeAndre Hopkins has anywhere from 8 to 11 touchdowns for the Ravens. So now you're looking at that 22 plus 8 or 9. You're looking at 30 plus touchdowns between the 3 of those players. And mind you, to keep it in context, right? DeAndre is going to be receiving touchdowns. If Lamar throws for another 40, 45 touchdowns, that's not even out of the realm of possibility, because even if right now, let's say Zay gets 5 or 6, right? Let's say Bateman gets 8. You know what I'm saying? That's 15. So now you got 15 on there, right? Let's say Likely gets 10. That's 25. It's 25. Let's say, because Justice Hill gets a lot of, let's say he gets like 4. It's 29. Still 11 to get the 40. Who do you think is going to eat up that production? Who do you think is going to shine with that production? Who do you think is going to make the most of that production? Exactly. It's going to be him. I mark my words right now. Barring injury, the trio of Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and DeAndre Hopkins will account for over 32 touchdowns. And just to let you know, that's an incredible number. 32 touchdowns is incredible. Because I think there's a way that DeAndre Hopkins can almost go double digits. And if he almost goes double digits, then it's in the box, then it's in the bank, because they're going to run Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's getting around 14, 15, maybe a little more touchdowns. So if Derrick Henry's getting around 15, 16 touchdowns, you got Lamar contributing 5 to 7. I just have a feeling, man. I have a feeling that they're going to score often, and people are not going to be able to slow them down. Not just because he's targeting DeAndre Hopkins, but I want you to understand leverage. It's going to be DeAndre Hopkins one-on-one with the third cornerback on most teams, or going into zone. You go tell me you don't think it's going to be crazy. I'm telling y'all. All of this, of course, it teeters on the idea of what is Mark Andrews doing. But if Mark Andrews leaves, I'm telling you it's going to happen exactly what I said. And every Raven fan is going to be like, oh my God. Because Raven fans are going to be partially mad. They're going to say, oh my God, this is amazing. This is great. Lamar done threw for another 40 plus touchdowns. He done threw for 4,200 passing yards. The offense is averaging 32, 31 points a game. Derrick Henry's running out the box. Keaton and Justice getting involved. They're just going to look at it, Raven fans, and we're going to be like, bro, could you imagine if they would have did this sooner? How good we would have been then? Why couldn't they have done this sooner? Why couldn't we have finished it? Oh my God, y'all wasted time. I want you to understand it because then you won't be able to argue it. You won't be able to argue it. But 32 combined touchdowns is what I see for Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Derrick Henry together. But hey, it is what it is. I'm telling you, I think it's like 32. But what do you guys think? Do you think they get the 32 touchdowns? Do you think they get the 30 touchdowns? Or do you think DeAndre Hopkins can't stay healthy and he might only get 3 to 5 touchdowns? Let me know what you think down in the comment section, please, all right? But as always, that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. And now we get down, we have fun and we laugh. But everything we talk about, rooted in what? Facts and truth. Guys, please remember to subscribe and like to the Wunderkind Morning Show. Yes, it is up. Monday through Thursdays, we go live from 9:30 to 10:30. Eventually, the video game from GTA and Call of Duty will be streamed on that platform also. So those streams, morning streams, will all be on here. So be there, be squared. And on top of it, we also do a nostalgia hour where we talk about stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, which is great because it brings you back. You know what I'm saying? So go there, subscribe, and let's build that channel up. Also, if you would like to donate to this channel, help out with equipment and such stuff like that, bottom of the screen, QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is Money Sign, The Wunderkind Show. Super easy. But that's the episode of The Wunderkind Show. This show is just signing off. And as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Huh? Yeah.
Finish him, Daddy.